Jennie DeGroat in Shia, Ashin, the Shlekiani, Bashin, Twitchini, Dasha Dots, and Ajine, Dashanal. Easy Nashane, Beke Hotel, Hoye. Kaden lay, Kintlande, Hotel, Betske, Otka, Adi, Nashnish. Da ate and astonishment. I first started thinking of immersion, working with the Navajo language immersion camp in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We decided to have an immersion camp, and without knowing what that really meant, I decided to try it for 2 weeks. And because I needed more information, that was when I came to AILDI. And so that was my beginning, to try to understand what it meant to use immersion. So I began to look into how people could stay in the language full time to teach, and I tried it that summer with our language immersion camp, and I could do it, and it was amazing. But I remember having to tell myself, stay in Navajo, stay in Navajo. All that time I had to keep telling myself, stay in Navajo. And it was very exhausting, telling yourself, stay in Navajo, stay in Navajo. After that, I began my work at NAU and started teaching second language acquisition courses, and really read about the research. I began to see how this could apply to using immersion approach. That's how I began, and today I would say it's much easier for me to stay in Navajo. I can switch to that mode and comfortably and confidently, and it took a lot of practice for me to get to that level of comfort and to be able then to show the process with others. For me, immersion is everything you do with a language. It's like planting a seed. You give just certain words, phrases, and build on those. And then you include concepts as you add more to the language, and so that it gives more meaning, and you get to have conversations with your learners. They get to actually communicate with each other, and so that they begin to feel confident that, wow, I'm learning this language, I know what it means, and it inspires them to come back because it's your brain wants more, and because it makes sense to them. The way I organize my class, they get to see me instruct in Diné language for almost 2 hours. In that time, they get to experience all that a learner feels as they're learning another language. But also I ask them, what helped you to make meaning, make sense of what I was saying? And we have a discussion afterwards about how learners feel when they're in their position as learners. And that what I did to help them, stay focused, to listen, and to, watch what I do and what made it simple. Not simple, but possible. As fluent speakers, we tend to want to give everything all at once, and it doesn't help us to do that. You have to look at yourself as the instructor and realize that this is what I needed to do to learn the language. You have to do a lot of self-reflecting and remember what helped you to learn another language. It took me years of doing this to get to that level of just switching over and being able to see all the possibilities of how to teach languages and with ease. And I want that for others. When I really think about language revitalization, and I go back to Joshua Fishman, who first inspired me of what it means to reverse language shifts. And he would say it's the transmission intergenerationally through the mother tongue. That has always stuck with me. And when I look at what that means, it does mean taking it back to the home, to the people who are responsible for this language. And they could do so much, and with ease, like I said, from birth, and it's so easy at that time period, especially for the Diné language, because we have thousands of speakers left. We're not paying attention to that responsibility. And I try in my own home with my grandbaby, although she's surrounded by English, we try to give her as much Navajo Diné as much when she's with us, which is not all the time, but as soon as she enters our home, it's Diné language with her, and she is beginning to mimic what I say in the language when I'm giving her a bath or playing with her, feeding her. I say something and she'll just repeat after me. And it's not all pronounced, but I could hear certain pieces of it. And so she's at that stage now. So I try to encourage that we need to begin to talk to our children in the language. It is not easy, but if we really want to do something to reverse the language shifts, we still have that opportunity in the home and in the community. You have to make that commitment to stay in the language and become comfortable, and just give your language a chance. Give yourself a chance to be effective.